Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Moz House Podcast. I'm your host, Hunter Begun, and today we have a special guest, the a alumni artist of Moz House, Stephen Longoria. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How you doing, Hunter?
I am doing well. Um, if anyone, I'm sure everyone listening, you're like, we haven't had a alumni artist in a long time. We recorded an episode almost a year ago, maybe slightly over, and we lost the footage forever. So, and I just remember it being a very good podcast, very fun. And then I was so mad when I went to listen to recording and it was garbage. And and then I had to do the walk of shame, be like, Jeremy, the recording's gone. Literally like the worst nightmare for people who do stuff like this. But things happen, and I'm glad we're able to do this again, as long as lightning does not strike my house and disable all Wi-Fi. So, can you tell everyone who doesn't know about you a little bit about your art?
Yeah. I make a lot of things. I do a lot of things. I like to keep like with the graphic design kind of aesthetic, if you will. But I make everything by hand, and I do everything on my own, and everything's just fabricated by me. But yeah, I just make a lot of art, and it's all like just weird, dumb characters that kind of come to mind, and things that make me happy. And yeah, those are the things that I do.
Well, selling yourself a little bit short there, but I'll give everyone a little overview. So, some of my favorite. You definitely are a graphic artist,
Yeah, yeah,
for sure. You also do a lot of murals.
yeah.
One of my favorite characters of yours, the Hand, which I believe you said was you last time.
Yeah, no, it's still me. Still me.
He's
It still holds
yeah.
up.
It's always you're always going around, and you have a lot of characters. You made a character about Rogue. All these little characters you make are all nice.
Thank you, man.
And I
Appreciate
know
it.
now you have like um, what would you call it? I guess you mentioned you fabricate stuff, and yeah, now you have like a real life version of yourself, the Hand,
Yeah, yeah.
and some other stuff.
So I think the
I would,
last time we talked, I think I was working on my first solo show, and that was for San Antonio, and that was just everything I love about my state, like being in Texas. And that's yeah, just a whole body of work dedicated to my state. And yeah, I think that's like the story I was telling last time. And now it's the same story. It's really the same. Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed.
hmm,
It's the same shit, different day. But yeah, just yeah, more Texas, more California stuff because that's where I'm based out of, and just me missing where I'm from all the time. And yeah, home.
hmm. You're from Texas, right?
Yes, sir. From the Rio Grande Valley, I guess like no one really knows it because it's so far south that everyone thinks it's Mexico. And to be fair, it's very much like Mexico. But it's a border town, and it's where I grew up and where I learned a lot of things about life that have kind of helped out with everything else. So I'm very grateful for, I guess, my family and my community down there. But yeah, the 956 or the Rio Grande Valley is where I'm originally from.
Okay. And so when I was looking you up, I saw that you also have a couple of extra things on your resume.
Oh yeah,
So
go
you
for it.
do you do have some welding in there.
Oh
And
yeah.
one thing I was interested about is it says you have lift experience, and I was wondering if that meant you work out or you have like you have your CDL
I
and you can use
know.
a forklift. I
That
was wondering what
was
you meant by that because those are both
uh
pretty impressive.
well, I know how to use a forklift. I used to work at Home Depot like growing up, and I used to just like be in Texas and like I don't know what happened, but I figured out. I used to drive tractors a lot because like I used to mow the lawn and shit. And like one of the things was you have to learn how to use this thing. And like I think I was like 12 or like 11, and those things were manual back in the day. I don't think they are anymore, but
Mm,
yeah, they are all very familiar. And then like just being at Home Depot, they weren't too strict on who rode those things. Like I thought you needed formal training, but if someone needed to do something and you were the only one that knew how to do it, they'd be like, "Hey, you want to do it?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" So a lot of that was always just like kind of like just thrown into it. But lift experience is like probably for the scissor lifts, the boom lifts, and the what else? I'm not even too sure what else there is in the lift world. There's probably other lifts. I'm pretty familiar with most of them, but they're all for like large scale murals, like going up like
hmm
6 or 7 stories, usually 3 or 4. typically,
Oh,
and
I
just
see.
doing murals like that. It's a lot of fun. I love being on those things, even though they're so high. Also, I don't like scaffolding, but I do look like lifts because there's a lot less work of climbing a scaffold compared to just pushing a button and getting lifted up like that. But yeah,
Hmm.
forklifts, not certified, but still a heavy user of them when I've given the option to use them.
Interesting. So the one time I've worked on the mural, I was helping my aunt and niece, aka the workshop coordinator at Ma's house, aka Jeremy's mom, and
Nice.
she was making a large scale mural on a building, and it was the scaffolding. And I'm afraid of heights. Are you
Oh,
not
damn,
afraid
okay.
of heights?
I'm pretty comfortable with most things, man. As long as I'm kind of secure. I've been in very sketchy situations though, like kind of my whole life. So
Mm-hmm.
like, dude. Again, growing up in Texas, like we used to just climb water towers and shit all the time. So like, being able to do that and then kind of just translating it to like doing like it was also for illegal purposes, like graffiti and like just dumb stuff. But I've gotten used to like always. I hate scaffolding, but I don't mind. I'll do it if I have to. I'm usually doing something on scaffolding like at least 4 or 5 times a year. So I've gotten pretty used to the height. But yeah, it's not the most fun when things shake, but I understand the fear of it because it can be very scary. I think I fell off a two-story scaffolding like at the beginning of the year this year, and that was
What?
hilarious. I was like, because like those things, like I'm a heavy guy, and scaffolding is pretty light, and I was on like a slant, like on a little like a situation where it was just on a slant, and I weigh like 230, so that shit just kind of like didn't topple over. I was able to jump off, and when I jumped off, I pushed it back, and it kind of landed back in place. But yeah, I just fell, and I was like, oh, all right, cool, we're good, and I just kind of kept going. But yeah, that's just is what it is. It's just yeah, life.
What the heck? Oh, so you had like a superhero landing off a bunch of
Oh no,
scaffolding?
I
That's
ate some
insane.
shit, man. It was not
Oh.
a it was not a great landing. It was just it was I was all cut up, but I was like, well, nothing broke, So I was like, I'll just keep going. So
Mhm.
you kind of just push through. But yeah, that was for I don't know if that was for a mural or that was for doing something else. I think it might have been for a mural. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. Might have been for a mural. Fuck. It's been a while. It was like I think it like February of this year. Oh, that wasn't even that long ago. No, it was not. It was longer than that. Sorry, it was like November of last year. Sorry, my bad. It was fairly
Mm.
recent, but yeah.
It is very recent.
Yeah.
That See, that'd be my. I would not want to fall off the scaffolding, but
Yeah,
to
it's
each
not
their
great.
own, I guess. Sounds like
Yeah,
you kind of enjoyed.
yeah, I enjoy a lot of dumb things. Like everyone's like,
Mm.
yeah, I like hostility, like confrontation, and I like again, I think it's how I grew up, just with like a lot of people always being like a little firm but like assertive, and I was always like,
Mhm.
nah, I'll just not listen to that and do what I want, and then I'd usually mess up and something would go like wrong, and yeah, luckily like it was never too bad, but life.
I do not know many artists at all who like confrontation. I'd say
Oh yeah,
very, very few of them do,
yeah.
and that is a very unique quality for an artist. Um, One of the questions I did want to ask you: what do you think is a important personality trait for an artist?
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good one. I think patience, man, because everyone in this field, like, I realized that most artists, like even myself included, were like very last minute. Like, we're very like, oh, we'll get it done, and like it's always like every artist I've ever met has been like that. There are some that are on top of it, but it is very few. It is like I would say 1 out of every 100. Like everyone I know is pretty like last minute with everything. But yeah, I think
Mhm.
patience and just dealing with that. Like I deal with so many artists on a regular basis. I've just come to like the conclusion that that's what it is what it is kind of, and I just kind of deal with it. Um, but I think if anything, patience is probably the most important thing. And yeah, I think that's the biggest one. Yeah.
Patiently wait for the perfect confrontation. I see your message to the people.
Yeah, that's also just me being confrontational because like there's so many like art direction, for example, like that's a thing where people like they a lot of people don't know what they want and they throw out these assumptions and it's okay, I get it. But like that happens so often where like people assume you like a lot of artists don't know how to do things besides make art and I'm very lucky and very fortunate to have like the ability to like I know design, I know how to weld, I know how to fabricate. Like I know I have all these skills and it helps me out greatly compared to like a person that just knows how to paint. Like they don't know how to
Mm.
design a flyer. They don't know how to like move forward with this design or like how to like I guess just figure things out. Like a lot, I guess I think it's a generational thing too because I've realized that like people that are like millennials for the most part, we grew up in an era where like if something you figure something out by googling it, but like I see my brother and I'm like, oh man, like you need help with that? He's like, no man, I think I got it, and he won't Google it. And I'm like, are you just going in blind? And it's like, it's cool, I get it. I've done that before too, but I've grown up enough to like know the outcome. You know, I'm like, that's not gonna
Mm-hmm.
work. But like seeing, and there's a difference in like probably like 5 or 6 years, and there's a difference in just how everyone else I know that's younger goes about solving something. It's like problem solving. That's all it is, and it's just like
Mm.
the differences in how people do it. And I don't know, Hunter, have you ever like worked on a computer and like tried to get like some like installing a graphics card or like installing a CPU or something, and then like having to make sure it runs properly, and then like it's if it doesn't like troubleshooting.
Yeah,
So,
I have, and
okay, okay,
because right now I have two giant desktops that I've had. Um, I've actually, well, instead of Google, I guess it goes with Google, but even now there's YouTube.
yeah, no, yeah,
Just look
exactly,
it up.
yeah. It's crazy because like I come from the Bay Area where like in Texas, like everyone's very much like DIY, get it solved, fix it, make it work. But in the Bay Area, man, it's a completely different atmosphere where everyone's like, "I'll just pay you to do this." I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
it's literally like a 5 minute fix, dude. Like I don't need to go over there for 5 minutes. You know, like I can tell you over the phone. I don't even get paid for this. I'll just tell you over the phone how to do it. And people are just so like, I'd rather just you come do it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'll help out. Sure, let's do it. Um, but yeah,
That
that's a lot of my life is like, hey, do you know how to do this? I'm like, yeah, it's not that hard. And they're like, oh, well, I'd rather just get you to do it. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's get me invoice going, and I got you. But that's how I've come to be, I guess, as useful as I've become in this world.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's wild.
That is such an interesting topic because as I've gotten older, when I was younger, I would try to do things like if I was building my computer, even just installing something as easy as more drive space.
Yeah,
Um, Opening it up and everything seemed like a more daunting task, but
yeah, yeah. I
now I'm
understand
able to
completely.
put together like when I look up, I'm able to do whatever I put my mind to as
Yeah,
normal.
exactly. Yeah,
And then, but I will say, the other day, my dad, I was visiting him. It was one of the last cold days,
yeah.
and he went to like move my car because I was blocking him in. The driveway arrived late at night, and
Okay.
he ripped my door handle out
Oh,
off, like it cracked in half.
oh,
And it
wow.
was like a fancy, it's not a fancy car, but the door handle had like a plug in it, so you can
Hmm.
click the door handle and it will unlock the car.
Okay.
So I looked it up, trying to like, oh, this is like a $20 item. I'll fix it myself, and I go to fix it. I'm like watching a YouTube video, and right before I fix it, I'm like, wait, this is not the right handle. Where's the plug and stuff?
Yeah.
And I realized that I would have to spend 2 hours taking apart the entire car
Door.
door.
Yep. That's a.
Yeah, from the inside. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I guess I could do this.
Yeah.
Um,
Do I
so
want
then
to though?
I
Yeah.
called the people, this auto shop nearby, and I was like, hello, how long? I have the part. How much would this cost? And they're like, oh, this would take like us like 45 minutes to do. I'm like, oh really? That's it? And I was looking at it like, oh my, this would take me forever. And then I had to put it all back together, and I don't have the
Yeah.
tools.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, okay, you guys come. I'll drive to you
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah, I'll spend 45 minutes on this.
Yeah,
Yeah. This is so much. Yeah. Time.
yeah.
Time is important. I understand
So
completely.
yeah. So as I get older, I'm like, I can do it. There's a lot of things I will do by myself, and then
Yeah.
there's things I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I
That.
this is
Yeah.
too daunting. I don't have the expertise.
I don't have.
There's a lot of
It's.
beginner things
Yeah. No. I
that
know.
everyone
Yeah.
can do.
100%.
Like,
And then also like specialty tools. You're like, oh, I need to get this, this, and this, and I'm like, that's already like $120 just for the tools.
yeah.
I'm like, and I'm only gonna do this once. You know, like, what's the point? I understand. I understand.
Once there's a specialty tool involved, I tap out.
Yeah,
Um,
same. Yeah, or I'll try fucking like just making it work by forcing it, and then I break it. And I'm like,
mhm,
well, I guess I don't have a car. You know, like it's that simple. It's like, well, I guess I'm not gonna use that for a bit.
yeah. A part of the car, the door handle actually broke off inside the car thing. And I was like, oh, let me grab I couldn't find any tweezers. So I'm like, oh, let me grab some scissors and I'll try to like grab it like that. And I lost it inside the car door. And I was like, oh, I won't tell the car people that. Hopefully they'll just take it out.
Yeah,
So
it's their problem now. They'll deal with
yeah.
it.
So I did try to do it, and then I was like, oh
Yeah,
god. Then I re-looked it up, and I was like, oh my god, this is insane. I can't
yeah,
do this.
dude,
And I
yeah.
think a lot of that stems from, I don't know. Were you always an artist, I mean, I know you started working at you were working at Home Depot at one point. When did you really start getting into art?
I want to say when I was like when I got into art like in high school, like heavy, because I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I just want to do this, and like I remember doing like we had like a community mural thing, and I was like, oh, this is cool, and that was like at 17, and then like I kind of just like was like, oh, I want to do this, and then like I went to school for art, and then I was like, I'm not feeling this, and then like I just kind of dropped out, and then I kind of just kept on going. I lived in California, and that's when I was like working at Home Depot and also just hanging out with my partner at the time, and we were just making art every day, and that was like, dude, those were like the best years because we were like we had all this inspiration, we had all this focus, because like, dude, at that point, like everyone was kind of like figuring out the internet, and like Instagram was like a new thing, and like posting and getting all this information, like people were very informative about like, oh, have you tried this? Like so many people were like so open to communication back then that
Mm-hmm.
it was nice. And now it's becoming more like that. So, but at a point, like I think it was like maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, right before the pandemic, it was a rough time to be an artist. Man. Like no, everyone was just like kind of gatekeepy. It was super shitty, man. It sucked. Like everyone was like, you wanted to be a part of these shows, and you're like, how do I do this? And like everyone was like, oh, you have to know this person, and like I'm a loud person, and again, I am very just who I am. So I do not make a first great impression probably, but like I am also I really don't care enough to like try to. So like yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of that where like I think yeah, just growing up and then always wanting to just to do art kind of influenced me to keep going and just kind of like keep making more shit every day. So yeah, that's yeah, 17, 18 is when I took it seriously.
It's like, I mean, honestly, that feels kind of late for a lot of artists that at least are at Moss House. A lot of them I interview
Yeah.
started when they're like, I was a painting prodigy at 4 years old. I was like, damn.
No, dude, like I used to like copy Looney. But my favorite thing doing as a child was like I would like be with my mom, and I remember this fucking so like it's so familiar to me. Like I remember we'd be watching TV, and like I'd be like trying to get my mom to like pause the show, and it was there was no like TiVo or anything back in the day, so you would
Mm-hmm.
just play this shit. And I remember like trying to get her to pause this stuff, or like I don't even know what my thought process was, but I would be on the TV trying to trace Looney Tunes and like Bugs Bunny and like Daffy Duck and all that shit. And I remember like getting so mad when it wouldn't stay still, and I was like, I just want to trace this shit. Like this is what art is to me, and like that's all I wanted to do, dude. Like I was like, oh, this is so much fun. And then like yeah, I didn't again. Art for me was like, dude. Also, where I'm from, man, it's not taken seriously. Like everyone that does art, like it's all like, I'm not trying to be mean or like trying to be like resentful, but like where I come from, it's just Mexican art, and I get it. I love my culture. I appreciate it and everything, but I get so annoyed. Like, I think it's a lot of Hispanic or Latin people, I guess, just have this thing where like you just see the same shit every fucking day growing up, and you're like, I don't want to see that anymore. And like for me, I know a lot of kids like that are like, oh, I've seen like 18 jalapenos today. I don't need to see any more. And like, it's kind of bullshit, man, because it's like, I get it. I understand. Like, everyone knows that this is what we are. You know, like it's
Mm-hmm.
a understanding, a group understanding. But then like like everyone's pumping out the same shit every fucking day, and I'm like, oh, I want to do something cool, you know. And then like again, being a part of like the Mexican Art Museum and like the Mission Cultural Center up and that stuff, and like helping out at these institutions and stuff. Like it's cool, and I'm glad that they like appreciate. I'm assuming they appreciate my style. I have no idea if these are true, but like I like making the shit I do like making, and I'm assuming that they're appreciative of it now. But like prior to this, everyone was like, "You're just a kid that's emo," and I'm like, "Fair, I get you," but like. I'm assuming now they think they take it a little more seriously and understand that I'm
Yeah.
actually like care about the work I'm making in some degree. I don't care about like the end product, but I do care about the process of making it. But like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just think that is one of those things where I'm always just like, it is what it is, you know?
That's very interesting. In at least I guess down south and Hispanic culture, there's a ton of at least what I've noticed. A lot of drag. Everyone has like a Dragon Ball Z thing.
Oh,
A lot of
yeah.
people drawing Dragon Ball.
Dude, yes.
Goku with a
That
jalapeno, the combo.
Dude, yeah, fucking we like Dragon. I was talking to my friend
Yeah.
actually about this a couple days ago. I was like, you know how much fucking Dragon like I'm sad, man, about the passing of the fucking creator of Dragon Ball because like
Dude, I made
that
4 videos about it.
Did you really?
Yes,
That's
on TikTok.
dude.
I was just so mad.
It's
But not
so
even mad. I was so sad.
dude, yeah, because like that was like I remember we would watch that shit in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, man. That's how much we watched this
Hmm.
shit. And like even then, I was like, I don't know, like what's going on. I just know this is cool. And then I just remember when it came to Cartoon Network and it was on Toonami, and I remember like that was huge, man. I remember just being like, what is this? This is so. And like again, we were all Mexican kids, and like one of us would figure, oh, it's called anime, and we like we all stormed, like we were like, holy crap, this is amazing, like we need to get more of this, and like we all started watching like the big ass movies like Akira and fucking like a bunch of Ghibli movies and stuff like that, and like that was like very that yeah, Dragon Ball. I think that taught me that's like it taught a lot of life lessons, and like it's kind of
Hmm.
like the Bible, if you will,
Yeah.
because it's like so informative on how you treat others and what's to be expected, and like siblings and like love for one another, and like that show, man, kind of influenced a generation, and I love it. Like it helped
Yeah.
out so much with life, you know.
Even if a guy is green, he can still be your friend. If someone's evil, they can.
Yeah, exactly. You can turn them to
Yeah.
become your friend. It just
Yeah.
takes time, you know. It takes
Everyone can become good.
it takes 18 episodes and a 3 hour long movie, but they become friends, you know.
Yeah. They start hanging out. They
Yeah,
become boys.
they become yeah they go have a good time.
No, if I was so you had like Looney Tunes when I saw I never would ever like I remember seeing a Toonami commercial when I was like 5 or 6 coming home from school. I was like,
Nice.
that looks cool. And then started watching it and I got really into remember Microsoft Paint?
Hell yeah, dude. I used to do a lot of work on that shit when I was
Yeah.
younger.
Yeah. I made hundreds and hundreds of Dragon Ball Z Yu-Gi-Oh cards in Microsoft Paint. And then I would
Ooh.
print them off in school and then cut them up and me and my friends would all like trade them. And we find like Super Saiyan 10,000 and be like, yo, mine's better. Look how big his hair is. Look at this hair. And then we like we figured out how to type in the cards. Like
Yeah.
we'd be able to delete the text, and
Oh,
then like
nice.
it was like the fill. You'd steal the color, then fill it up, and then you could just
Yep.
type whatever you wanted. And we would type like the most insane things for their abilities. It's like just win the game immediately. But yeah,
Yeah.
I credit Dragon Ball. My first videos I ever made were all Dragon Ball music videos, and my first ever animation was a freaking Dragon Ball stick figure battle.
Ooh.
These are all available on YouTube if anyone ever finds it, which they
Dude,
never will. No
send
one
that to
ever
me. I want
will.
to see it.
Yeah,
I love that shit. I love it so much.
it's so insane how much. Yeah, for anyone who has no idea what we're talking about right now, the creator of Dragon Ball died like 2 weeks ago. Maybe a little longer actually.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, slightly longer.
Yeah, but he died, and everyone is still grieving the loss of someone who has forged a generation of people's morals and artists that I know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never edited anything back when I was like 10, 11, 12, 13, which kind of spiraled into me making my own type of videos. If I didn't see like, wow, Dragon Ball, this is so cool. I want to put this to some music. I saw someone else do this. Um, yeah, it's
dude.
interesting.
Yeah, no, yeah, I understand completely. Because yeah, that again, I think all my siblings, we all know we know the story of Dragon Ball. Like
Hmm.
it's wild because like again, we all like we all grew up kind of in different. Like everyone I've talked to, Dragon Ball is such an influential part of their life that like. I love it because it's like we're like I meet people in California, I meet people in Mexico, I meet people like, and especially in Mexico, man, like where everyone like, I don't know how true this was, but they were saying that the cartel took like a break
Yeah,
because
that's real.
I hope to God
I think
that's
I
real,
think they
man.
had a ceasefire the day
You know how
before
wild that
anymore.
is? That's
Yeah.
amazing. Like if that's I pray that's true because that is the best shit I've ever heard in my life, and I hope that they care enough about that series that like it caused them some physical emotion to stop killing each other because
Yeah.
that's like the best thing ever. But
When
yeah,
Dragon Ball Super was out, the crime would go down in Mexico because everyone was tuning in.
I hope that's true. I really hope that's true.
It could just be a meme, but it makes sense. So many people were like, okay, it's like comes out like 9 o'clock. We all got to be home real quick
Yeah, we have to be home,
to
otherwise
watch,
we're not gonna watch it
which
again.
like it does make sense because in America, whenever it rains, gang violence goes way down, or when it's wintertime because it
Ooh,
gets dark so early and everyone wants their kids home. But in
yeah,
the summer, everything goes up because it doesn't get dark until
yeah, later,
9:30.
yeah,
Everyone's hanging out, and then up to no good.
yeah,
It's no
no good.
school. It's just what happens. Well, if you have
Yeah,
something to
good
go home
times.
to,
Yeah,
yeah, if you're like
yeah.
dude, Dragon Ball. It's Friday night. We got to go home for Dragon Ball. You're like, oh
Yeah,
shit, you're right.
you gotta get
Everyone's going
home.
home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no excuse. There's no
you
excuse.
gotta get home. You gotta figure out whatever you gotta do to watch it. You're stopping for a little bit. Even just pull it up on your phone. 30 minutes, nothing's happening. At least. And then you gotta have a conversation about the episode.
Yeah,
You know how
yeah,
it
you have
goes.
to have a discussion.
Yeah,
It has to be a 30-minute discussion on how
yeah.
we felt
At
about it.
least. Yeah,
At
at least
least.
30 minutes. Yeah, we'll try to move on to Dragon Ball, but I'm sure it'll come again.
Yeah, I
Um,
guarantee it. I guarantee
so amongst all your various mediums, do you have a favorite?
Dude, I want to. Yeah, I do. It's probably like making, like build, like using physical. Like I love digital work. I love doing digital work because it's like command delete or command undo. You know, it's so nice to do
Mm-hmm.
that and like not have to worry about like an actual repercussion of something being like dead set on like. I guess not dead set, but like being on a piece of paper where like it's like, oh, it's permanent. But I think like actually making things with my hands, I think that's also where the art realm's gonna go. Because I don't know if you know about AI, but AI has been taking a lot of jobs, and
Yeah.
yeah, like a lot of my friends have been not let go, but they're on hiatus, if you will. Because a lot of AI jobs are just taking over. Like people are closing down the art departments, and like it's very sad, man. But like now I'm seeing that they're unemployed. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? They're like, I'm looking for work, and it's just like it sucks, dude. Because like yeah, I think I don't know. I'm just yeah. Okay, so my favorite thing, my favorite form is making shit, fabricating and just building things is my favorite thing. To answer your question,
Mm-hmm.
to make it shorter.
You're safe until AI figures out a 3D print, and then
Yeah,
it's
and
all
then
downhill.
that dude, it's already doing that. That's what's crazy.
Is
I'm
it
like,
really? Oh
dude,
damn.
it's getting good. Like I think you're able to like now in some of these programs, like you don't even know how to fucking anim or not animate, but like 3D model anymore. You can just like take a photo of something, or take a photo of around something, and it can composite like a 3D
Wow.
model for you, and then it can you can print it within a day. Like and then
Now
yeah,
that's insane. That's
it
insane that that's possible.
it's yeah it's getting good, man. I think they just I think AI OpenAI just released its first movie that was all done
Jeez.
through AI, and that was I think it was done like 2 or 3 days ago, and everyone's like, "Holy shit, this is really good." And to be fair, it is really good, man. Like, it's getting good too quickly, and
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's getting way too good, way too fast. It's really advanced.
yeah. So like now I think they're even doing like I think the New York Times literally just had an art piece in there, and they credited OpenAI for the imagery, and I was like, "This is so."
Jeez.
It what sucks, man, is it was a good rendition of what they were asking. Like, I think they gave I think there was someone that posted about the article about like how it actually came to be, and I was like, "Wow, that did an excellent job of exactly what you wanted it to do."
Hmm.
So, like, you're now just an art director that's telling this AI what you want, and it's doing it. So, yeah.
When I first started using Chat GBT,
Oh yeah.
I would just put in like my I'm not the best writer whatsoever, especially for grammar.
Hmm.
Grammar's not great.
Same.
And
Same, man.
but so what I would do is like if I was writing up a cover letter, not even cover letter, like my artist, um, what is it even? I don't even know. But you need like an artist thing when you have your art being shown somewhere.
Yeah,
You
an
have to have
artist
like a little
statement or
like
artist
yeah
bio.
artist statement. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I wrote something, and then I just like make this nicer, and then it did. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is cool. And then things started getting out of hand. All the photos and people making AI art, and which is fun to mess around with. Me and my friends like to occasionally go to the casinos,
Okay.
wherever, and we did. And one of the things I did to convince we were all excited to go to Vegas, so I made a Goku at the prompt was Goku at the roulette table, and it actually made it. And I was like, what the hell? So Dragon Ball already came up again, but and it was him like in a Super Saiyan with a suit on, like roll like as the thing was spinning. I was like, bro, this is insane.
Yeah.
it,
It's good.
it was
Okay.
free, and it was free.
Free.
Took me ten
Yeah.
seconds.
Dude, and that's what's crazy because like, dude, I don't know how long you take to make a body of work, but like, if I'm making something, it takes me longer than 45 minutes. You know, that's what I'm
Hmm.
like. And like, these things are pumping out millions of designs for like not just one person, but like millions of people, and everyone's
At the
using
same
this.
time.
It's kind of it's and like it. I don't know, man. I always thought the future was gonna be like, oh, we were gonna be focusing more on this shit and like being able to like focus on the arts, and now everyone's like, oh, I'm using this to write my screenplay. I'm like, what? Like,
Mhm.
okay, cool, bud. But yeah, that's what it's become, and it's very dystopian. Like I feel.
It's really weird that people have taken that turn to where AI is being used to mainly make art.
Yeah,
And I thought it was going to be used mainly to do coding and stuff because that makes perfect sense for AI to do that.
yeah, I
Because
agree.
coding takes so long, and I felt it was going to be like remember that damn paperclip that would help you out on the
Oh yeah,
computer?
Clippy, Clippy. I think his
Yeah,
name's
I thought
Clippy.
it was going to be like him. I was like, oh, dude, Clippy, I need some help right now. I can't figure out how to code this into my video game. And then he'd be like, okay, dude, you messing up right here, and then he'd just fix it.
Yeah, and it would
Or
tell
like
you. It
use
wouldn't
this.
do the work. It would.
Yeah. And it'd be like your friend. He'd be so like you'd be doing most of the work, and you're like, "Yo, dude, I need some help doing here." It'd be like your collaborator. That's what I
Yeah,
was hoping for AI to be, but
yeah,
now it's just does it does whatever you want it to do.
yeah.
Um, I don't know how we're gonna fix that.
I think again, I think physical media, like not physical media, but like physical art, I think that's going to be a major factor. I think
Mhm.
I would hope. I have no idea. I know they sell like now giant fucking monitors that you put in your house, and they have a fucking what is it called? What are they called? Not crypto art. Is it crypto art? What the fuck's it called? You know what I'm talking about, right?
An NFT.
NFT, there we are, that bullshit. See, like that whole realm. But okay, so like, okay, this is what I think about that now. Like, seeing that happen and seeing the prices just dwindle to like nothing, I'm so happy about that because
Hmm.
I was like, this is the dumbest. Like, there is a utility to it. There is. I get that in like. But even then, like if you're playing Fortnite or whatever the fuck or Modern Warcraft or whatever, not Modern Warcraft, Modern Warfare, there we are. Like, and you want like a custom skin for this character, that's cool to some degree. But like the way they were
Hmm.
doing it was like you own this for life, and it's like, all right, cool. Like, what am I going to do with it besides put it in like a 3D like Roblox world? You know, like I don't really know the incentive if that makes sense. And
Yeah, it
it's
became like a way to like, save, like hold your money.
yeah,
So
it's
weird.
it's like kind of it's yeah, it's kind of just like yeah, it's just sketch. It's a little sketch to me. That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
not for me. Like I already do sketchy shit just living my life. I'd rather not do it on the internet. You know, like
Hmm.
yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, so back in the day when we were young, I think that kind of all started with like CS:GO and World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
The people were buying digital assets for real money to save time. Like you
yeah,
could buy gold on World of Warcraft for real life money because it would take so much time and effort to get gold. And
yeah.
I know some lore, Jeremy Dennis. One time I went to his house and he has his computer plugged into his TV and a monitor, and he's playing like 3 games of World of Warcraft at the same time using bots, and they're just doing quests. And I'm like, Jimmy, what are you doing? Because I also played World of Warcraft at the time, and I was like a new player. And I was like, Jimmy, what are you doing? He's like, well, they get the gold, and then I work for this company now that they pay me to farm gold.
Nice.
And I was like, what the heck? That's insane. And I was like, now it's like the first time I ever heard of people making money like that on
Yeah,
video games before like streaming and everything being like a esports. And
yeah.
then um, I remember in one day, Jeremy like quit World of Warcraft and he like sent you could send mail with like money in there. And he sent me like 20,000 gold, which is like hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of the gold. And
Yeah.
I was just like rich level like 10 player. Um, so it was insane. And then I guess before I got worked at Ma's house, it was in between jobs. And I don't know how familiar anyone listening is with Pokemon, but there's like a 1 in 7,000 chance of finding a Pokemon with an alternate color. And there's a very niche community that hunts these Pokemon, spends like hours and hours. I think it would take on average about 40 to 80 hours to find one shiny Pokemon at full the 7,000 odds. But I figured out how to hack my Nintendo Switch and artificially create the shiny Pokemon. And I was selling that for $5 to $10 per Pokemon, and I made like $6,000 in 2 months doing that.
Holy
Um,
shit.
yeah, it
Okay.
was
Damn.
insane. It
That
was
is
insane. It was
insane.
a lot of work, I will say. Not to like actually make the Pokemon, but like doing the business and finding customers, and people were annoying. Um, but people buying digital assets to save them time always
Yeah.
made sense to me
Yeah.
because no normal person wants to
Wants
spend
to.
40 to 80 hours to find
Yep.
their favorite Pokemon in a different color.
Yeah.
But it's cool to have. So spending $5 versus 40 hours. Oh my god, no brainer.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that makes sense to me. But then NFTs make no sense at all.
Yeah,
What are you getting?
I
Some of them
don't
would be
know.
like access to dinner at this place, $10 billion,
Yeah,
and then you
it's
buy it, and it's a picture of a monkey, and
yeah,
then it's just you have like a trading card. There's it's not like a Pokemon card, first edition Charizard, because it's not 50 years old.
yeah.
It's just
It
something
has.
brand new that people are artificially making me care about because they're spitting out money and a way to evade taxes. Freaking crazy.
It's wild, man. The world is weird. Oh, hey, man, Hunter, how do you feel about the world right now? Do you feel like it's weird as shit? Like, I know, like, you grew up with COVID. Like, I think that was in your high school life, right? Was that correct? Is that correct?
That that was no, I graduated in 2016,
Okay, cool,
thankfully.
cool.
So, but it was like it would have been right in the middle of my college career, right at the like my senior year of college. I think, yeah,
Okay, fair.
2021. I either would have just graduated or like my graduation would have been gone.
Damn,
Um, if I was still in school. But
fair.
I was in Philadelphia living by myself or living with some roommates, and that was an interesting time
That was
for
right.
sure.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad. Yeah,
That was when NFTs fucking came about.
yeah,
Also
that's, yeah,
during COVID,
yeah,
people
during
had a little
COVID.
too much free time.
Yeah, it got a little weird. I think it's still weird now, because now I'm like,
Hmm.
the world isn't better. Like, everyone's like, oh, we got like, there's no one traveling, there's no this pollution happening, so like, all these animals were like living their best lives,
Yeah,
and
coming back.
and now we're just like, fuck that. We want everything that they like. It's such a shitty environment now that we're in. It feels worse. It feels like it's worse, and then
Hmm.
everyone else has just become kind of numb to it, which I'm same page. You know, I'm feeling that. But yeah, I don't know. How are you feeling about it? Like, is it feeling the same for you, or is it different?
Now I get like a rage in terms of like people are so caught up in their own ways to where I think they had so much time to where they could really delve into not only interest but finding new interests and opinions that they now find as absolute fact. And everybody has this happened to so many people that now so like I see people are like you're an idiot for if you ever wear a mask still, and then I see people saying if you're not wearing your mask right now you're an idiot, and I'm just like outside walking the dog, and I'm like what the hell is going on over here? Why are people
Yeah.
calling me idiots on the internet? Like I could post a video and you're like, you're not wearing a mask in that environment. No, you're wearing a mask in that environment. Like that's just making so everyone now. I think people are so have fallen extreme left and extreme right,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
everyone. And it's not. It's really not everyone. It's just like everyone. So these people are just screaming
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
everybody, and it's the only thing you can hear. And then
Yeah.
the whole world is falling apart at the
Yeah.
same time with all the
Yeah.
wars going on.
Yeah.
Um,
The
it
sadness.
just kind of feels like I'm waiting for like the U.S. to go to war with
Dude, I feel
somebody.
like
And as
we're.
bad as that would be, the economy would be booming, and our economy is so bad right now. So there's so many like things that he considers like, well, my life in particular would be better if the U.S. went to war, and that'd
Yeah.
be horrible for
Yeah. No.
everybody
Yeah.
else
Everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
that's
I
not
don't
a U.S.
know.
citizen.
Yeah.
And I don't want us to go to war, but the upside is definitely there in terms of like American um, patriotism
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like
Dude,
wanting
but
to do well
I think
in
even.
life.
I think even the people that are for war are like, we don't need to do this. Like, I
Yeah.
think everyone's tapping out. I think everyone doesn't
Hmm.
want to do anything. Killing anyone now is like work, and I don't think anyone
Hmm.
wants to do this anymore. Like, I think everyone experienced like the Iraq War, and
Hmm.
everyone's like, oh, we don't need to continue to do this anymore because that was a big waste of time. And everything else after this is gonna just be, I don't know. It just seems like bullshit at this point, you know. Like, everything is like, people are just getting murdered for no reasons now. It seems like, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
but
There's
fuck.
constant threat of war everywhere, all the
Yeah.
time now. And I will say, so like we had that weird 4 year period of Donald, everyone thought the world was going to end, and then COVID, everyone thought the world was going to end, and now everyone thinks the world's going to end more
Mm-hmm.
because the two wars going on.
Yep.
Is the can we just get it over with, or just be stop the fear mongering? Stop making me feel like everything's going
Dude.
to go to hell every
Yeah.
second.
I. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Because it just feels. Yeah. It's. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really. I know what sucks too is like I ask everyone that's much older than me, like, hey, has it ever felt this weird? They're like, oh, this is normal. I'm like, how the fuck is this normal? Like, this isn't okay. This isn't a cool thing that
Mhm.
like we can just live with over and over again. We've already dealt with like 9/11 as children, and like we're adults
Mhm.
and we're like still dealing with like just fucking crazy shit happening all the fucking time. I'm like, I'm kind of tired of all this. I just want to leave. Dude, honestly, I just want to move to another place. Like, I don't know where because there's war everywhere, as you can tell.
Mhm.
But maybe just by myself somewhere, just chill the fuck out for a
The
year to
woods.
four
A lot of
years.
people are going to the woods now.
Dude,
Just trying to do that.
I'm trying to find a woods big enough for me, like,
Mhm.
so I don't have to run into anyone and just be out
Mhm.
there and just enjoy it. But yeah, man.
Uh, I want to clarify my earlier comments. I'm not pro America invading anywhere, but when you think about it from a purely capitalistic viewpoint,
Yeah,
it would be good for American economy.
yeah.
So I think it might be coming. Honestly, that's kind of my prediction is
I
Biden's going to get
guarantee.
reelected or Donald, and then whoever they're not going to go to war this term, but
Yeah,
the
they're gonna
second
get ready
term,
for it.
yeah, because they both only have one term left, regardless, and then they can do whatever
Oh,
the fuck they want.
yeah, yeah. Dude, and that's also crazy to me. Like the fact that that motherfucker is still in, like, he's still on the like nomination, like he's still able to fucking be in the Republican Party and like be a candidate is crazy to me that we're
Hmm.
allowing this as a society. So I'm just like, what is happening now? Why are not like I know I'm an adult now, but I'm like, why aren't the adults doing anything? And
Hmm.
everyone again is just so checked out. I don't think they give a shit anymore. Like it's.
America is fully checked out, and I don't even know if Donald can vote at this point. Like, is he a felon?
Dude, I
How is
don't
he
even.
allowed to run for office, but
Yeah,
keeps getting convicted of crimes? It
yeah.
doesn't make any sense. And how is Joe Biden even still alive? I don't
Dude,
know.
dude, yes, 100%. I don't know how. Like he's kicking. I don't know how, but
And thank God he is, because Kamala Harris is a monster. She's gonna put everyone in jail. She's incarcerated the most people ever.
yeah, that's
So
it's wild, man. Like
it
that's
does,
why I'm like I don't get it. I think neither side. I don't want to vote for either of these fucking people.
yeah,
This is a
yeah,
nightmare. I would rather just not. I would rather just everything crumble and I just be living with my community of people and friends, and I'd be much happier. But
yeah,
here we are, another election year.
yeah. And now we're already on the topic. It's hilarious that like Kamala Harris is kind of a monster, but like Mike Pence was like a hero at the end of it, which is like insane.
He was actually like the voice of reason, which is
Yeah,
crazy because we were like
yeah.
that guy's fucking crazy too.
Yeah.
Uh,
At first, everyone's like, "This dude's insane," and then he like only one with any brains towards the end. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not making him president again. We're stepping down.
yeah.
Why are we storming the Capitol? This isn't things have gone off the rails." And he basically it was like, "This guy's a hero. What's
Dude,
happening?"
what's crazy is like he was gonna be a sacrifice, which is even
Yeah,
crazier. Like Donald Trump was like ready to get rid of him. I'm like, what the fuck is happening in this world? But yeah,
yeah,
this is just getting off. Like this, this conversation is amazing. I'm glad we could just do
yeah.
this. Yeah,
Um,
we went on a tangent,
yeah.
bro. Nuts.
This is what the podcast meant to be, but it's kind of taken a more formal turn in the past year. But this is what
Oh,
I always
okay.
wanted it to be, which
Oh,
is
damn. Okay.
I do not mind. It's just how it is nowadays. But so we talked about it a little bit before we started the podcast, so I know the answer. But
Cool.
what is a form of art that you want to try?
I think I was discussing this with you earlier. I want to do like big ass sculpture. Like I don't know if that's what that's called technically. But yeah, just bigger work. Big ass sculpture. Just bigger shit, man. I just want to go. I want to start fabricating more and welding stuff. And like I here in Austin, man, they're actually like I was able to do like are able to do like a bike tour of like the just the community stuff that's been going on at the parks and stuff. And like the stuff they have going on over here is like some of the cool stuff I've seen in a bit. Um, and it's very well done. And I just kind of want to be in that realm now and like go bigger with my art in a 3D kind of 3D way. But yeah, that is probably my, I guess, the biggest thing I want to work on. And then after that, everything else kind of comes after because I really don't. It's not that interesting to me anymore. Like I think that's why I'm bored. It's because I've done everything I can do in a 2D world for myself, and now I just want to go 3D, but like I want to go hard 3D, and that's costing money. So now I'm like applying for like grants for like large sculpture here in Texas and in California, and hopefully I get something that goes right, and I can just go big with it and have fun.
Mm-hmm. My so I've also been wanting to do sculpture as
Ooh,
well.
nice. Okay.
As of a couple weeks ago, because I interviewed an artist. His name is his most recent episode that came out. His name is Simone. He does these giant. Totally check him out because he's right up your alley. Giant sculptures made of found material.
Ooh, okay, nice.
And so and it's all based on like space. So he makes like space stations. He did this giant. I mean, giant. I mean, giant installation at Coachella, like
Oh,
huge,
okay.
um, of a space station. And
Dang.
but like he was given money for that one because it's Coachella. But most of his art is just found materials, um, and sculpture. Which so he's somewhat inspired me. I want to make a sculpture for an upcoming show called Shinnecock Speaks because I asked Jeremy. I was like, "What is it?" I didn't want to do a video, so I was like, "I don't want to do it." Um, so
Yeah.
I was like, "What has no one done? What has no one been doing yet?" He's like, "No one has done an outdoor sculpture yet." So I was like, "Okay, maybe I'll do that." Um, so I'm trying to now. I have to figure out how the hell I'm going to make it a freaking outdoor sculpture.
Ooh, dude.
Because I usually work with cardboard if I'm making stuff. Now I got to work with wood or metal or
Ooh.
something,
Okay.
so it doesn't get
Yeah.
destroyed if when it rains.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Let me know if you're doing that. I want to kind of. I think speaking to Jeremy about doing a workshop over there sometime before October.
Mm-hmm.
But let me know if you want to work on something because I could be up there for a little bit. So that's why I'm like, oh, I want to go do some shit. Oh, I like being in New York, man. I really love that experience. That was a good time.
Yeah,
So yeah, if you give me some reason to be out there to help out, I'm fucking so down. So just let
awesome.
you know, throw it out there as an option.
Okay, I'll once I draw up like my blueprint for it, I'll
Yeah.
send it to you. And if you're interested in making it,
Ooh.
I don't want to say what it is on here because people are going to steal my idea. Um,
Okay, no worries, dude. To me.
but I'll let you know what it is. Should be
Okay,
cool.
cool. Fuck
But
yeah, I'm
yeah,
down.
so um, let's wrap this back to a little bit about Ma's house.
Ooh, yeah.
Talk about your residency because it has been about a year, and I want to know what really has stayed with you from the Ma's house residency that you had all the way back in February 2023. Can you tell us a little bit? I guess yeah, what has stayed with you?
Ah, dude, that's a good question. I think just like everyone there, dude. Like you all were so kind and so nice for giving me that space and just letting me do what I was doing. And just like hanging out with everyone and talking about the creative process and just hanging out with yeah, Jeremy and Rihanna and like everyone was just so nice and just yeah, that was just, the community you guys have there is it's very it's almost like being here, man. Like it's similar to being in my community in Texas. It's like there's a lot of love and warmth in that place that I appreciate and I loved a lot. But I think that was the biggest thing. And then like just being able to like go to the studio and make my stuff and then hang out with everyone and just talk about stuff. That was cool. I think that and just also meeting other artists in the area. I know Jeremy took me to a couple like I think it was I want to say it was the Southampton Museum or something like that.
The
Um,
Southampton Art Museum.
there we are. That's it. Yeah. And just talking with some of those folks, it was nice. And yeah, just like talking to the community, man. That was nice. That was really cool. That was just a cool experience because again, I've never been to New York before, and that was my first time. And yeah, just going to like okay, so I don't know if you know this band called Bayside. Um,
Hmm,
they're
I
like
don't
an
think so.
emo. They're like an emo band, kind of. It's yeah, it's all emo music. But they were very influential for my youth, and they have a bunch of songs about like just I guess just like the Hamptons and stuff, and like Montauk, and like being able to go
Hmm,
out there and see the lighthouse and like the whales. You guys have a lot of whale stuff going on over there, and I was very
yeah.
inspired by that. So I painted a whale, and like that whole yeah, I don't know. Everything about that was just a nice time. It felt very it was also cold. It was very cold out there. And I just remember it being
Yeah.
very like almost like what's it called? Like a Tim Burton movie, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Huh. Hmm.
Like
You
very
should try
like
to come down during Christmas in the Hamptons, is what I call it. It's
wait, why?
very, it's very much like a Tim Burton movie. I feel like they
Ooh,
have like they may have a snow machine that they
oh,
go.
okay.
It's like in Southampton, just the town of Southampton. You go down right into town, 5 minutes away, and there's this
Yeah.
whole Christmas celebration, like a
Ooh,
parade, um, giant fireworks show, insane.
okay.
But
Dang.
I couldn't believe it started snowing. I was like, "What is going on?" And then I'm looking around, and there's like this snow machine. I'm like, "This is snow machines are real." That was just a thing in TV. They were making it snow. Couldn't believe it.
Dang, damn. And dude, also, it's so like okay, it's okay. I'm not gonna lie. It's also a little weird out there. Like not
Oh yeah, 100%.
it. I remember going shopping over there at the grocery store, and just feeling a little out of place. And also, like like I think I forgot what happened. There was an interesting moment where I was just like, I was talking with I don't know if I talk about Brianna. We and Brianna were talking, and I was talking about how I felt weird inside the grocery store. Like it felt weird to be in there. Like I like almost kind of like being in like a redneck town because I know
Hmm.
this is off season for y'all. Like is that correct? The February and like all the winter, right? It's all off
Yeah.
season. And
Thankfully, it's almost over.
okay, yeah. But it was a weird vibe the whole time, and like yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed everything on like on the reservation, but like everything else was a little strange to me. Like I was a little on edge. I don't know why. It was just. Do you know what I'm saying, though, Hunter? Do you
Yeah,
feel that way?
I think I did when I first was really here for a long time because
Okay.
everything really does shut down.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do,
Yeah.
and you see the same people often, which is
Yeah.
not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
But then they start looking a little different after a little while for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what that's like. The best way for me to describe it
No.
is the people in
Yeah.
the town start looking slightly different to me,
Yeah.
and even though
I,
they're the same people I see every day, and it's like you, as someone who's just visiting most of the time this summer, the vibe in Southampton is the rich and wealthy playground, and everyone's like smiling, having a good time. But even just I was at the grocery store the other day, and like all the workers had like their head down, they looked sad. I was
yeah.
like, this is interesting. Um,
Is it
Everyone's looking different right now,
yeah. And I
and
don't.
they're
I
like
mean.
dreading the people coming because within the next month, people are going
Ooh.
to start showing up, and I feel like
I.
this is like the
Okay.
last few nights there where people can relax.
Ooh, and chill. Be
That
chill.
yeah, you aren't in traffic for 3 hours trying to
Oh yeah, dude.
go
Also,
5 minutes.
that's crazy too. Like just to get, it's like a one-way road everywhere there. Like not one way,
Hmm.
but it's like two-way
There's
road.
one
But
road,
yeah, but it's like only you can only go one direction, and like it's
hmm
kind of insane. Like I was like, oh, this is so weird. But it's
and everyone's
yeah,
going at the same exact time for some reason.
yeah,
It's
yes,
4:30, time to go.
yeah,
Let's all go
and
here at the same
yeah,
time.
everyone's going. Well, yeah, I've never experienced that. Like, oh fuck, yeah, it was very much like what I imagined in my head, and then it was immediately that. I was like, oh, this is
Hmm.
exactly how it is in like a movie I saw when I was like 8 years old, and this is how I imagined it, and it's kind of stayed like that. But yeah, that was it's a very interesting place to me. Like, I want to go back. Dude, I honestly had a good time going to the cemeteries because you all have some
Hmm.
cemeteries. You know what I'm saying? Like those things are
Hmm.
old. Like I remember seeing some shit from like 1822 or something, and I was like, "What? Like this is still here? Like this is bonkers?" You know? Like I was just blown away by it. But yeah,
It's a very early settlement. It's
yeah,
interesting.
that's a factual statement. Yeah. So like seeing all that, I was like, "Oh, whoa!" And then like also, there's a bunch of windmills, and I really like large again sculpture, I guess, and like large giant things and those windmills. You guys have so many windmills and like
There are a
lighthouses.
ton of windmills.
Yeah, and I was like,
Um,
oh, there's like four, and then I kept on going. I would just see like more and more each time. I was like, this is a lot of windmills. Um, but yeah,
it's, it's almost too many windmills.
yeah, it's
Um,
there's too many in this area.
I when you think about it, like Southampton, like that, it is very. It can be very eerie.
Yeah.
At times, especially well, you haven't seen it in the summer. It's a different type of eerie in the summer because
Ooh. Okay.
everyone's dressed the same
Is it
and
cold
they
still?
follow weird fashion rules. You
Oh.
people, everyone stops wearing white after Labor Day, um,
Okay.
and things like that. But everyone has like there's like the Hamptons outfit. You can tell who's not from here because everyone's wearing the same thing.
Ooh.
Uh,
Okay.
and that when I was younger really like I don't know if the right word is, but jarred me because I'd be like walking out with like pair of Jordan 11s and like a t-shirt and gym shorts to like go to the library, and then everyone's dressed up in like this fancy button down and those pink khakis or
Ooh.
slight
Interesting.
variations with their boat shoes on. So that's like what all the men were wearing, and then
Yeah.
that's like sundresses and stuff. And
Okay.
back when I was a kid, at least, the fashion has definitely changed a little bit, but
Okay.
everyone's wearing genuinely very similar outfits, and all look very similar. So that was always kind of weird for me when I was like in town. Um,
Interesting.
but now in the winter, although people start looking different, like the same people I see every day, I do feel better about just like where I'm going because I'm like, no, not many people are going to be there. If they are, I know who's going to be there, and it's not going to be packed, and everyone's not going to be looking the same, which always bothered me. Like,
Yeah. Almost like it's a club kind of situation where you don't fit
mm-hmm.
in. And I was like, I don't fit in here at all. Like, I think I was
Yeah,
talking to Jeremy. I
yeah,
was like, I feel very out of place here. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, I don't know. Something about this. It's just, it feels weird. Like, we went to a couple art shows too. I remember going to a couple art shows and I was like, this is so, I think we had a dinner at, I think it was the parish? Was it the parish?
Parish
The,
Art Museum. Yeah.
no, not the parish art museum. What's the other one? The church. Is it the
Oh,
church?
mm-hmm. I know which one you're talking about, but I don't remember the name. I think it might be called a variation of the church.
Okay.
The
I
church
remember.
something.
Yeah, and so we had a dinner there, and it was a dinner party for like one of the I guess the three artists that were showing or something. And I remember they sat me on the far end of the table with like mainly the staff that worked there. And I was just talking with them, shooting the shit. And there was also one of the artists' partners was there, and she was going off, dude. And I just remember being like, I can vibe with this lady because she was just talking shit the whole time. But it was so funny to hear like another adult that just didn't care. Like she's like, fuck these, like she was just going off, dude. She was like cussing and I was just like laughing so hard. And like everyone was like uncomfortable, but I was just enjoying this woman going off about her husband's art and like everything about that just felt like like very very honest, and everything else around that didn't feel honest. So that's why I was like, oh, this
Mm-hmm.
person I can vibe with just because they're so true, and everyone else was like having polite conversations, and then there's this woman that's just like it's just like the staff, and we're just like all listening to her talk shit, and it was just one of the highlights of that trip was just like having it, hearing someone else talk about their partner and their art practice, and it was just so honest and brutal that I was like, I hope to God that whoever I've ever involved with like this just does this about me too. Because I want that honesty, I want that truth. I don't want people to lie to me about my shit. And she was just straight up. That's what I was like so happy about. I was like, oh, this is like perfect, you know?
That might be a good way to basically sum it up, especially in the art section of Southampton. Everyone carries themselves like a similar way.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like a mode you kind of, especially if you're a showing artist.
yeah.
In coming into Southampton, you want to conduct yourself a certain way, or they're not going to invite you back. Um,
I understand completely. I'm like, I
yeah,
don't think I'm gonna be ever come back here.
yeah. But there are some people who are really looking for that. A lot of like the art directors, like the people who are working at the art places, are
Yeah,
like want the truth and like the real stuff. So they'll invite you in. But then people visiting, like going to the shows, not all of them. There's a good split between people that are expecting you to act a certain way. Like
yeah.
I wouldn't even call it high society. It's just more like a little more not. It's not even professional. I don't know how to describe it.
I don't
You
know.
have
Yeah,
to be
no.
able to. You have to like turn it on, and you
Yeah,
can like
turn
talk
it on.
very small talk, but then
Yeah,
also try to give people a digestible way to think about your art
yeah,
without getting
and
like too real
yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
Because yeah,
Otherwise, you're
like
like, oh my god, I'm thinking about now genocide.
yeah,
I just wanted to think about it a little bit. I didn't want
dude.
to,
Yes,
because you know,
100%. Yeah, because it was like I don't like talking about my art like that, man. Like I'm just like I just like oh I make shit. Like that's what I say to most people, and that usually like that that's my deciding factor. Like if they're interested in just talking with me, that's the best option, you know. But if they bail out, I'm like, all right, I'm cool with that because obviously there was not going to be a friendship there to begin with. But if it's just someone that's like, oh, like what type of shit do you make? I'm like, I start talking about it, and they're like, oh, okay, so you actually do make shit. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just not. I just say that so I can just get that out of the way and not have to like talk about it because I don't like talking about that. I would rather much learn about what they're making or what they're working on because I like to learn about other processes. You know, does it make
mhm,
sense? But
it
yeah,
does.
yeah, I don't know. Like, I get my shit out of the way because like I don't my my shit doesn't translate well to like I feel like my art is very much like specific to like youth and kids. I don't know. I make shit for myself that would have been proud of. Like my 13-year-old self would have been like, "Oh, that's cool, man. Keep making stuff like that," you know.
Hmm.
And that's my mindset. I don't make anything for anyone else besides that guy. So like, yeah, and that he hasn't grown up, and I'm staying the same. So like, that sounds horrible, but
Hmm.
like you know, that's where my head stays, and I'm like, it's kind of kept me where I am, and I'm happy with what I'm making. So like, I don't know. Yeah, But
I will say that that is one of the benefits of COVID situation was people started like thinking about what they used to like more, and
yeah,
I think becoming more in tune in a way with their inner child and appreciating what they've always used to like before.
yeah,
Um, but I will say there are, as much as I said that people are like fake and whatnot over here, a lot of them would appreciate your art on a deeper level. It's just some it's hard to tell who, and if you
mhm,
aren't talking to the right person about it, then it's like is not good a good thing that you're talking about it like that. And the ones that you are talking about it with, it's if you can get into a one-on-one with like an art director conversation with like no one listening, good things happen. But if you're like in the general crowd talking with like five people at once and everyone you're like, my this piece is about whatever horrific experience, or then they don't want to hear it really.
yeah.
It was very interesting. But I think Southampton is changing with the times a little bit. They were very late to the change, but now they are someone. There's a lot more weird art shows, not even just at Ma's house,
Ooh,
um, which is good. A lot more opportunity, and a lot of it has been facilitated through Jeremy because he did fine art that spoke a message to people who live there. It was
yeah,
very niche, and they're
yeah.
like, "Oh my!" And they got scared. And the people who didn't get scared were like, "Oh my god, everyone else needs to be scared." And when they see this, so they kept
Ooh,
showing it, and then
nice.
it kind of spiraled out from there.
That's
Um,
fucking dope.
and that's how I see it. How that this has happened in his career, because his art does scare people who live
Yeah,
here,
I can easily see that for
rightfully
them. I
so.
can, yeah, rightfully so for sure, dude. Yeah,
It's like, oh
I
my
yeah,
god, am I is my house under who's buried under my house?
yeah, yeah. That's
Am I
yeah,
being haunted right now?
yeah,
And they're able to not think about it for so long, and then Jeremy, now they're seeing his work everywhere. They're like, oh shit. And I think it's been hard for them to find people to invoke emotions amongst the filthy rich to where they feel bad, and they're like, oh no,
yeah.
oh no,
Oh man,
oh man, I
yeah.
put in a pool and they thought it was dog bones. Those were not dogs. That was not a
God.
dog bone. That was a burial site.
That's wild, but that's so true what you're saying right now. Yeah, that's so kind of fucked in a weird way, man.
Mm,
But yeah, damn.
yeah, and now and from that art, it's spiraled into all Moss House and even us talking right here. It's so
Yeah,
interesting how
dude.
that worked.
Yeah.
How art can change things and
Shout
give
out to Jeremy.
opportunity.
Shit, yeah,
Yeah,
dude, for
shout
real
out.
though. Yeah, because yeah, like I wouldn't be talking to you otherwise. That's
Yeah,
honestly the truth. But yeah, it's crazy.
right. And speaking about art again, so now that now you're a year past post Ma's house residency. What have you been working on? I know you did a mural recently.
Yeah.
Has there been? I would definitely want you to talk about that. Has there been anything else that you interested want to tell everyone about?
Yeah. So, I did the mural for the Mexican Art Museum here in Austin, Texas, for I guess like the beginning of Southwest, which was a ridiculous time frame because I did it in like a day. I had
Wow.
thankfully some help from some good people, so that was nice. Knocked it out though. But yeah, that was just literally because I used to live in Austin. I used to come, dude. Austin's like our new, or I guess, or like Manhattan, or I guess if you're Brooklyn kind of like situation, like that's where you go to
Hmm.
see shows and music and like get involved in the arts as a youth. And yeah, like everything I love and miss about this place, like, or I guess that place specifically, was just like all the work, like everything. Like, dude, I bought my first record in Austin. Like, I went to my first show in Austin. Yeah, like everything kind of was just like I've a lot of firsts happened in Austin. I appreciate that place for what it like taught me and what like my art style is very much influenced by what I grew up with and like yeah, Texas as a whole, like that's my biggest thing, man, is my state. Like I'm so proud of this place. I fucking hate the politics. I hate what our governor is doing. I hate that piece of shit. But I love my people here, like my family and my friends, dude. Those people were like holding it down, and they're doing stuff on their own. I'm happy. I'm glad they're doing their things. But yeah, like that was kind of like an homage to like just being home and loving the place where I kind of like it influenced my life. But yeah, that's the biggest thing I did, and I'm really happy that I was able to do it before South by to get that out to enjoy South by. So that was sick. After this, I'm going to be doing a solo show in San Jose, California, and that's going to be like a show just about like my where my studio is located. It's located in Japantown over there, and that's just going to be like a body of work that like pays respect to like the. It's going to be a little cheesy because again I'm a cheesy person, but it's going to
Mm-hmm.
show like talk a lot about like the community that I've made there, all the friends I've made, everyone that's kind of like rooted for me and pushed me to keep going and making art and doing the things I'm doing and yeah, the people I love and everything I love about it. But yeah, that's gonna be based in California and that's gonna be it should be fun. It should be fun. It should be I'm excited about that one. But
That
also
sounds
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm excited. We'll see how it goes.
Hopefully, well. That's all you can
Yeah.
really hope for. Hopefully, it goes
Yeah.
well.
That's all you can hope for, correct?
So I actually want to ask quickly because I know we'll go on a giant tangent if we start talking about it. What was your first record? Do you remember?
Ooh, dude, yeah, it was Born Ruffians, which is like they're like a little indie band. I don't know where they're from. I want to say Canada, but probably not. But yeah, that was the first record. It was a 7 inch, and it was I want to say it was Fly Away Little Hummingbird or Hummingbird, I think was the name of the track.
Hmm.
And that yeah, that's I still listen to them. So yeah, it's very like very important to me. And yeah, I think I still have that record. I guarantee you I do. It's somewhere in my parents' house somewhere. I have no idea where, but it's here somewhere. But yeah,
Hmm.
that's probably the yeah, that was the first record.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
My first record was definitely, I think, the Marshall Mathers LP.
Ooh, nice. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and then my second record, I bought the entire Eminem came out with like a 20-year anniversary thing, and for all his albums on vinyl, and I bought that, and then I sold that because it became really expensive. But I
Ooh.
just bought another vinyl record actually. It's in right over here. It's a new album, Blue Lips by Schoolboy Q.
Oh, nice.
Very great album, one of my favorites of the year for sure.
Oh yeah.
Uh, for any music
Nice.
people out there, I suggest listening to it. Um, or rap people out there. Um, let's see. Let's see here. We're pretty late into the podcast now. We'll try to
Yeah.
speed run some just
Yeah. We it was a lot of Dragon Ball talk and a lot
yeah,
of the state of the world that we're in. But we're
yeah, which happens. Um, that this podcast has been very um like similar to the podcast that were also recorded at the time when your original residency,
ooh,
which is
nice.
good. I
I'm
feel
glad.
like a lot of
Okay.
the podcasts were similar-ish to this,
Okay.
maybe not as many tangents, but the podcast has changed a lot.
Damn. Oh, wait,
Um,
so is it becoming like what is it becoming then, Hunter? What's going on with it?
um, it is it has it's hard to explain, I guess, to where I've been doing more in-depth research and trying. So we've had some more I don't want to call them like more famous artists, but
Oh, you
more
totally do that. You totally do that.
well-known, like people take these artists very seriously.
Oh, I get you. Yeah.
Um and they take what they do very seriously, which is good, but
Yeah.
they just want to have a nice interview often about
Yeah.
discussing their art, and their art usually often depicts very graphic topics that are important that we need to discuss. So we don't get to be as silly, honestly.
Ooh, dang. Okay.
And if we do, and people have told me not to be just I guess they just wanted it to be changed with the team. We're just gonna make it more streamlined, I guess. But I've always liked doing this type better. Uh,
I understand. I get you. I
yeah.
get you. I see. I'm a lowbrow artist, so like I understand
Hmm.
because I'm not. I don't. Again, I don't take my shit seriously. Like I just kind of make stuff. If people like it, that's great. But I really am making it for myself. Like it's. I'm not trying to
Hmm.
show a message. I'm just trying to show you what I'm living at the moment. Like that's about it. There's
Hmm.
no like deeper meaning to anything. It's just like if I'm making Godzilla, it's just Godzilla. You know, there's nothing. There's no
Hmm.
other thought process besides like I like drawing that motherfucker. That's about it. You know. But yeah,
Hmm.
different mindset probably.
Yeah,
Completely different
and it
mindset.
was a lot of it is to not be as I don't even know if there's a word. I guess respectful was a word that came up the
Ooh.
in the talks.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I get you. I get you. Yeah, because like I I don't imagine this being like I cuss a lot, man, and like I know most
Mhm.
artists have like a reputation of like keeping it clean and like polite. but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my realm, man. That's not like
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
cool. I respect that, but I'm also like I'm not gonna be showing at the Met, you know, or like like I'm gonna be showing at like a mom and pop shop that like cares about
Mm-hmm.
like how to make toys or something, or like their focus is on like pop art, like it's like, oh, who did that Campbell suit, it's like kind of shit like that, like it's like I don't know, there's no heaviness to my shit, or like because I'm not a heavy person like that, like I weigh a decent amount, but my heart doesn't carry that weight to it, like I'm just making fun shit for myself and for the people I love,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
Which is, I think, one of the most important qualities in artists is if you love if what the end product and you're like, oh man, I love this, then it's a great piece of art. Um,
Oh yeah.
which is one thing always appreciate when I make my own little videos. And I just had one more word to describe it. Oh, censorship has been a word been brought up.
Okay. All
Sometimes
right.
I censor people
Oh,
because
really?
yeah, which not and it's not for the reason like I don't agree with this person, but as a brand,
Ooh,
Ma's
yeah.
house, and I'm just like, okay, that's like fine. So then, and it's very two sides. Sometimes I'll take things out, and people will get mad that I took it out because like, oh, I'm censoring people. But I'm like, I I don't think they wanted it anyway.
I was
They
gonna
wouldn't
make
have said
them.
it if they knew. Also, don't want to
Wow.
give that a platform, right? That's not
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
so then I was like, do I just leave that in? I don't know. So I also now try to steer away from those questions where people start saying things. And then with the wars in the world,
Yeah.
currently people are taking um very strong sides, either or,
Yeah.
and I do not want to really get into that in terms of like I support these people only or these people are evil for doing this. I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
a lot of people who are related to these people listen and give us money and have
Ooh.
nothing to do with this conflict. And
Yeah.
now you're just making them feel bad for being for just being this person of this. I'm like, is that racism? I don't know. It's just like it's a whole can of worms, so I just get rid of that usually.
Fair. Yeah.
Or try like if someone's just like free Palestine, I'm like fine, but things sometimes get a little out of hand.
Yeah. They can.
Um,
Yeah. I understand. Yeah. And like, yeah. That's dude. Yeah. Like, yeah.
it's
That's a
also funny because
whole.
people don't know I'm also Jewish. So people say some
Oh
crazy
shit.
things, and then and then I'm
Holy
like, oh
shit.
god, and I'm also like free Palestine, but I'm like Jesus Christ, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, but
I didn't do
fuck.
anything.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's
So
yeah.
things like that have happened,
Yeah.
and
But fuck, man.
I will decide at the end if I will cut that from the podcast. But I've been told to stop censoring people, so maybe I'll just leave it in. Um,
All right, do
so
what you
yeah,
need.
so
Yeah.
that's kind of how the podcast has changed. Back in the day, I wanted people to say whatever they wanted, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, we need some risk management because I don't want people to feel because Monsters is a safe space for everybody. So
Yeah.
anyone of any creed or race, whatever, can come and feel welcome. Now,
Holy.
at the end of the podcast, I always give people, "Oh, the floor is yours. Say whatever you want." Now I get kind of scared when I say that.
No, that's.
So, oh, the floor is yours, but
But hold on.
don't say anything. It's supposed to be safe for everybody. So is it safe if I'm deleting what people are saying?
Ooh,
Is that taking away their safe space to say
ooh,
what they want to say? But is
that.
that taking away from other people's safe space to come and listen? It is
Ooh, I
a
don't.
very big can of worms. There's
Yeah.
no right answer.
There-
All right, let's get back to your art real quick.
Go for it, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
where do you see your art taking you? And
Uh,
it's kind of a two parter. Where do you
Go
see your
for it.
art taking you now, and where did you see your art taking you when you first started?
Oh, dude. Um, I I don't know, man. I really don't know. I have no answer to that besides hopefully just making more art. That's all I want to do. Like I don't care about much. Like I live pretty like modestly. Like I live. I don't have much. I just make my art, and that's all I want to do, man. That's all I care about. Like I love my family. I want them to be healthy. I want them to be good. I love my friends. I'm very thankful for my friends and my family. But yeah, if I can just continue to do this till I die, um, that's all I want. That's all I want. Like, yeah, I don't really care about anything else besides making shit and being around creative people. I think that's the bigger thing is actually being around people that are creative that keep me in their life. I fucking love that, and that's kind of my bread and butter, where I can just collaborate and make more. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone was like, if you won the lottery, what would you do? I was like, honestly just buy more equipment. And they're like, why? I was because like I just want to go bigger and make bigger shit. And they're like, you wouldn't want to help your family out? I'm like, no, I would love to help my family out, but like I think if I just make more shit, that somehow that'll help my family. Like I honestly just I know that's the thought process. It's a stupid ass process or thought process, but I'm like so for it. I'm like, no, if like people just give me more of a chance to make bigger shit and like give me the opportunity, I think that's all I really care about. Like I also don't really have a message behind my art besides like I want to do cool shit. I just want to do cool shit. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, super simple. Like make dope art. Just hang out, have good times. I'm like a hippie, but like up like a little bit like mad all the time. But that's the vibe I want to give out. Like make cool shit, hang with good friends, and just smoke some weed and have a good time. That's it, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
A hippie with a chip on the shoulder.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a good answer. I feel like where do you see art taking you? Oh, more making more art. That's like the best way to answer it, honestly.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Okay, here's another good one. Here's a good one. What piece of art are you most proud of?
Ooh, fuck. Okay. As of now, most proud of. Shit. That's a really weird question because I'm not proud of most of the stuff I make, man. Honestly, um, I make it just because I like it. But it doesn't bring me like pride. I think just repping where I'm from is probably the most prideful thing I have, or like the most proud I am of what I am.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not for like anything beyond like they brainwash us here a little bit, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm from this state. I rep this state. Everyone knows me as being from Texas, and I'm fucking totally okay with that. I'm not okay with them thinking that I'm a Republican because I have some
Mm-hmm.
discourse with that. I'm also not cool with them thinking I'm a Democrat because I'm not that either. But like I'm just me, man. Like I don't really give a shit about anything else. But yeah, I don't know. I think
Okay,
being
let me
proud.
change the question then.
Go for it. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, when someone asks you to see some of your work, what's the first thing you show them?
Oh, I show him my dick hands. Like I show
Yeah,
him
that's
Mono,
what I
the
thought you'd
character.
go. I think that's what I thought.
You're like, I knew exactly after this, but I want to
Yeah.
ask it anyway. Yeah, my dickhead character, man. That's me. That's just me in a more raw form. Like, if I could be naked all the time, I would be. That would be me 100%. But I get there's a lot of beef with that, so I just stay clothed, you know. But yeah, that's who I show them. And if they vibe with that, that means we're gonna have a good time because they're like, oh, I understand. I get you as a human being. If you see that character and they continue to talk to me, I'm like, okay, cool, we can be friends. But
I think you're selling yourself short. I think that character has meaning. That's like a
it,
expression in a raw form. Like, oh, here I am.
yeah. But the thing is, like, but that's just it, though, man. Like, if they vibe with it, then I'm like, oh, we're gonna be friends. But if they don't, then I'm like, I don't need you in my life. You know, like it's that simple. It's like, cool, we're good. And like, I have a lot of people that I've shown this character to because they're like, what do you make? I was like, I make a lot of dumb shit. And to be fair, my head is just full of dumb shit to begin with. So this character is just me in a cartoon form that I take around everywhere. And yeah, that's it, man. That's the most. Yeah, that's probably the.
I like when he's on a skateboard.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I like to eat shit on the skateboard. So that's
Hmm.
yeah, that's me when I was younger and
It does feel a
willing to
little
take
dangerous
more
to be
risk. Yeah,
naked on a
yeah,
skateboard.
I
I feel
agree.
like oh, a
I,
little exposed. One wrong move,
yeah,
bust
just
up all
gone.
my knees and skin. You know what you could do? You know how Goku has like 9 transformations. You could draw Goku hair on each finger.
Just make it all gold. Just
Yeah, Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then Ultra Instinct on the fifth.
give him a little bush, a little gold bush.
Oh, that would be kind of fire.
Oh shit. But yeah, that's who I relate to the most. That is what I am to the core, and I will never stop drawing that guy. Like I've realized
Hmm.
that now. I always drew characters, but like nothing ever like felt like me, and now this little homie is like what I am, 100%. And yeah.
There's another guy I like on here. Oh, the bird. I like that bird on the sky. I don't know what it is, but every time it's a skateboard, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Oh
I
yeah,
like the
dude.
skateboards.
I like skateboarding culture a lot, man. Like I grew up playing like Tony Hawk, and then also just eating
Mm.
shit on my regular skateboard. Like I am not a good skateboarder, but I do appreciate that culture to like a degree. I think that's also who supports me mostly, like is
Hmm.
skateboarders and punk youth. Because yeah, like that is my demo, if you will. And they are fine folk that I love to have around and just like to talk shit with. And yeah,
Yeah. I wish I got more into skateboarding. Like I liked it. I grew up in a nice little white cul-de-sac area, so we
Yeah,
brought out the skate. We finally got a bunch of skate, like the group kids. We all got like skateboards, and we were so bad. We would constantly fall down, but only
yeah.
one of us had like a freshly paved driveway, so we'd all go to his
Ooh,
house, and
yeah.
we would like we would what we would do, we'd throw the skateboard and then try to jump on it and
Oh,
do it
yeah,
really
yeah.
fast. No tricks. We just try to go fast. That's what we were about. We were like, we would go down this giant hill with our bikes, and then we were trying to train so we could go on the giant hill with a skateboard
Ooh,
without
nice.
dying.
Yeah.
And we never made it to be that good because we started crashing on our bikes. We started going too fast.
Holy shit, dude. Damn, that's
I'll never
wild.
forget. My friend brought his brand new bike out. He's like, "Yo, this is like a 6 speed or whatever." We're going down the hill, and usually we go straight, but for some reason he's like, "Dude, watch how I can make this turn full." So it's like a straight thing, straight down the hill, and then there's like a road straight on the left, like in the middle of it, right when the hill ends. So he decided to turn left. His bike came out from under him, flew in the air with him, and his bike hit a road sign,
Holy shit.
and he landed on the grass,
Okay.
safe,
Okay, that's good.
safe. But the bike, his brand new bike, was destroyed. So he spent the rest of the day trying to fix it before his dad came home from work.
I love that. Okay, that story is literally like every adventure I was on as a child. Was like we would fuck something up and we would be trying to fix it before the parents got home.
Yeah.
It was always that life. It was like, oh shit, we're gonna get in trouble. This doesn't look at least okay. You know,
This is not good, guys.
we're all gonna get our ass beat. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, dude. Yeah, that I relate to that story on many levels.
The next day, he had his old bike because it was we like bent it so he bent it so bad that he couldn't get the chain back on.
Oh wow, dude. Holy crap.
Yeah,
That
it was
is
so it was. I've never seen anyone like get murked that bad on the bike and survive to this day. Just have to land on the ground. My friend Jesse, was still my good
damn.
friend now.
Nice.
You
I'm
know,
glad you guys
my
still
neighbor.
friends.
Yeah, after going through something like that, we used to get into so much trouble back in the day.
Dude, yeah, that's what friends are for.
Yeah,
Life
broke a few car
lessons.
windshields by mistake with a rock.
Oh shit. Yeah, same.
We threw a rock and hit a windshield by mistake, and then they chased us, and we had to run into
Yeah.
the woods.
Oh nice. Alright, you guys had the woods. We didn't
Yeah,
have that. We had just a fucking hole to fucking fall into.
there were a lot of woods nearby
Nice.
and like
That's
fences and stuff. So we'd like crawl under a fence and hide, wait for to like hear them like going towards us, and like jump over the other side of the fence, jump through the bushes, get out of there, loop all the way around to the other street because the streets were really kind of connected by the woods. So
oh
we'd run
nice.
over to the
Yeah.
other street and be like, "Oh, we were playing over here. We don't know what happened."
What are you talking about, man? What are you talking
Yeah, and sometimes it'd be like snowing, so they could clearly see the
The
footsteps.
tracks. They're like, bro, size seven, size seven. Like
Yeah. I lost my shoes. I don't know where they are. Yeah, we were done.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, the good old days. All right, I think. Okay, so is there anything that I should have asked you about?
Oh, no, man. I think you're solid on everything. I think we covered most topics. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say, honestly.
Yes, we've discussed more topics on this podcast than most topics,
Dang.
most than usual. Oh, I don't know
Yeah,
what to say. Now I'm
we
just
talked
yapping.
about we talked about Dragon Ball, man, and I was not
Yeah,
expecting that topic to come up, and I'm so glad it did.
yeah. I'm always done
Um,
talking about Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball.
I'll never stop. I'll never
Mhm.
stop.
I'll never stop.
Yeah, dude, that's what's up. But yeah, like yeah, that was fun. Yeah, dude, like just yeah, this conversation. Dude,
Yeah.
100. This is like the second time we've done this, and every single time I've learned a little bit more about you. But yeah, it's like, it's
The
cool. It's
first
cool.
time was also very good. The
Yeah,
first
it
time was
was.
so good, and I was so mad that we lost it.
Yeah, man. It's almost like it's like we have that friend that you've like known since like high school, and you guys don't
Mhm.
see each other for like years, and then you just can't like hang out. You're like, oh, dude, you remember that time we did this thing? And it's like that all over again, which I'm like, hell
Mhm.
yeah.
Or
Oh
that
man.
time he ran away from home to watch Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, man.
Honestly, maybe I should go back and try to save it again. Because now I'm better at editing audio. I might be able to save like some parts of it or something.
Ooh, dude, if you could, that'd be funny. And I
Because
forgot
it was.
honestly what we talked about. All like I
Sa-
remember some comedy stuff for sure.
mm-hmm.
And I remember talking about, I think, obviously the residency, but there was some other stuff in there that I started laughing at, like later on, and I was like, I want to hear that later, and I forget what it was, but it was pretty
Yeah.
good.
It was very unsalvageable for my skill level. Like, it
Oh,
was.
dang.
It was insane. You almost couldn't hear anything. The So I think what actually happened was our audios got mixed together
Oh, dang. Okay.
off center. So we were like talking at the same time with a bunch of background noise. So we couldn't
Oh,
understand anything. But now I might
dang.
be able to like figure out how to make it slightly separated or something. Maybe I could revisit. Maybe we could have a. Maybe I'll just send that to us so we can listen to it.
Oh, hell yeah,
Um,
dude. Fuck yeah.
the original. So that would be
Yeah, man.
cool to look back
That'd
on
be cool. That would be cool.
a
Yeah,
year
like
ago.
a year ago. Yeah.
Hmm Unreleased Mouse House. We can sell it on Reddit. Release tape. Ten
Super
thousand
rare.
400. Yeah, it's an NFT now, guys. Come buy it. If you buy our NFT, you get access to the original audio of the first podcast.
That'd be hilarious, dude. You set it up as an NFT.
Maybe I will do that. All right. So I get. Oh, I guess one last question for you.
Go for it.
Do you have any questions for me?
Uh, is your favorite comedian still Dave Chappelle, or has it changed?
Oh, that's a good factoid about me.
I remember that specifically. That's why I was like, oh shit, because I've been like obviously listening to comedy podcasts and shit, and just like I've been really enjoying Shane Gillis. I think it's Shane Gillis. I don't know if you know of him, but I feel like you might. And dude,
I know of him.
this shit's
He just got invited back to SNL, right?
yeah. He like literally like a month ago. Dude, I think
He's really
what
funny.
he's fucking yeah. He's I think he's one of the better people that's doing comedy right now.
Hmm
And I've just been enjoying the shit out of it. But yeah, I was checking in, seeing if anything changed or if you're still rocking it with Dave.
Dude, I haven't been watching much Dave anymore. He's still my all time favorite, but I really
Okay.
like what's his freaking name, dude? Why can't I remember his name?
No
He's
worries.
kind of like a redneck looking guy.
Oh, Theo Von.
Uh, yeah, Theo. Yeah, I really like.
I
He's
knew
really funny.
I knew exactly who you were talking
No, that guy is a comedy animal. I don't know.
about.
I don't think he
Yeah.
does it on purpose. He might do it on purpose, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either. But I enjoy his shit too. Like I always
Yeah,
like,
he's really
is
funny.
this guy for real? Like,
Yeah, the guy who's like the machine. He's
oh,
pretty
Burt Kreischer.
funny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's really. I like him now.
Nice.
I think Impractical Jokers, classic.
Oh yeah,
Always like them.
yeah. They're a good
That
time.
was my first comedy show.
Oh,
So funny. It was It wasn't like so I wasn't sure what to expect because they had like a show, but they were comedians, just regular comedians before, and it was
oh.
so funny.
Interesting.
Like
Okay.
I left, and my face had never hurt so much from laughing to this
Dang.
day for
Okay.
like 2 hours straight. I was dying the entire time. They showed one of the funniest things. It's very gross, but they showed like this midway through. They showed like an unreleased clip of one of the first episodes,
Okay.
and it's just like behind the scenes, and there's like cat poo on the floor, and they gave someone bet Murr $20 to eat it, and he ended up eating it, and I was like, bro, there's no way. And then I saw Murr at Comic Con um, this year. I was like, oh my god, there's the guy who ate poo.
Oh shit, dude! I don't know if you watch Taste Buds. He has it's Sal Volcano and what's his other guy's name? But he has a deli. I forget the guy's name. Shit, Joe DeRosa. Joe DeRosa has a sandwich shop up in New York. I think it's in Manhattan.
Hmm.
But they have a comedy podcast, or it's a podcast about food versus. So like for example, it's like McDonald's versus Burger King, or like Taco Bell versus Del Taco, and they just go off on the argument about which is better, and they have the fans vote, and whoever wins the vote wins that show. I think you'd enjoy it because it has one of the guys from Practical Jokers, and then the other guy, he's just a comedian that's hilarious. But I think you'd enjoy it if you haven't
I
checked it
do
out,
like Sal. I
dude.
do
Yeah,
like Sal a lot.
it gets a little
What's it
rough.
called?
Taste buds.
Taste Buds. That's a good name.
Yeah,
It's a great name for a podcast.
it's hilarious, dude. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. And
Yeah,
there's a lot of
I'll check it out.
episodes. They have like Snickers versus like Milky Way or some shit, and it's good. It's again, this is all I do. I just listen to podcasts, music, and then just enjoy life. You know, not
Hmm
doing anything else besides that.
Well, I'm so glad that I made the mistake and set it for today, the podcast,
Oh, nice.
because tomorrow now we have an event at
Oh,
our current artist is doing a outdoor installation. They do like visual art with projectors, so it's gonna be outside.
oh, that sounds
It's gonna
cool,
be
dude.
around. It would have been a little earlier or around this time, and we wouldn't have been able to talk for as long. So that's good. We've
Oh,
had this. I would have like sped us through a little bit more, not going on
dang.
any tangents. So thank God,
Yeah, dude.
all worked out.
This is like, oh, let's run 30 minutes, and it's an hour and 43.
Yeah. as long as I hit 30, I'm happy. But
Nice,
then like
yeah.
I do like prefer when we go longer, and I'm definitely gonna shave this down a little bit
Do what you
because it's
need, man.
really long.
Yeah, it is.
Um, so maybe
Shit.
my rant about censorship. How ironic! I'm deleting my own censorship thing.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. Oh,
A
fuck.
classic Hunter censoring himself and then talking about censorship, how bad it is. Goes right around. What a hypocrite! So
You do what you need,
that,
man. No judgment here.
yeah, yeah. I like to keep it around. Once we get over a certain point, if it's an hour 15, I feel like is usually people's breaking point.
Yeah,
Like they look, it's like, oh my god, listening for an hour. Oh, it's only 15 minutes left, and it's like a good podcast. They'll listen to the end.
yeah.
But an hour
Oh,
42 hours for a podcast for
yeah.
hearing me yap, it is a lot for somebody.
I'm chill with
Yeah,
it. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
yeah,
Goddamn.
yeah. I had a great time. So that's how it is.
Oh
All right,
shit.
so
All right.
this is really like an OG Mouse House podcast. So old fans of the show will enjoy.
I'm
Um,
glad. I'm glad. I'm glad
yeah,
they'll enjoy this
hmm
this discussion we had.
yeah. When people tell me they listen to all the podcast episodes, I'm like, geez,
That's
how annoying do you find me at this?
that's. I don't think I've listened to anyone like the whole anything of any like
Hmm
anybody's podcast. So like that's cool that people do that though.
I think we're
I
at like 40 something episodes, so there's not like too many. And usually they're like working on their art and learning about other artists at the same time, like their technique. So like kind of meshes with what they do.
okay,
Um,
nice. That's looking cool.
so yeah, even I don't listen. I haven't listened to every podcast. No, I'm kidding. I've been forced to listen to my own
You
podcast. Now's your chance to plug in all your social medias, your website, shout out whatever you want, give any controversial opinions, um, shout out organizations, shout out whoever you want. Now the floor is
uh
yours.
okay. I guess my Instagram is at STEPONHEN. Step on hen. On Instagram. Yeah, just follow me there if you want to see some shit. I'm doing. I have a show, or I guess, yeah, I have my solo show happening at Empire 7, which is in San Jose, California, and that opens sometime in May. I'll get more specific on the date as soon as it comes. What else? I have a piece in the Mexican Art Museum for their Changarito show, which opens up in April. It's like, yeah, it's a piece that like it's literally like on the wall that I did for the mural. Also, if you're in Austin, ever go check out the Mexican Art Museum. They're dope, great people. Shout out them. No Future, San Jose based gallery, dope as hell. Empire 7, dope as hell. Yeah, all those folks. Yeah, that's all I got, I think. Yeah, check out Instagram for more artwork. My
And I have
website's,
a website.
yeah, y'alltx.com, I think it is. I want to say it might be, that's actually probably incorrect. Let me verify that information. It's y'all, YALLTXTEES.com, and that you can find my projects on there. You can buy some merch on there. I don't even know. I don't think I've, I don't think I've sold anything this year on there. I think everything will just buy shit in person now for me because I don't really. Oh, actually, I just have work at I have work at Empire 7 that you can buy. I have work at Black and White Gallery in San Antonio you can buy. I have work at Mom's House you can buy. I have work at yeah, I have work everywhere at least in 3 states. So go buy that shit if you want to buy something of mine or you want to support me in any way. Yeah, do that. That's cool. I just forgot about all this actually until right now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Oh man.
That's how it goes. We've been talking too long. That's why. Now our brains are all fuzzy.
Dude, yeah,
Anyway,
a little bit, a little bit. It's all good. I enjoyed this time.
yeah. All right, everybody. Everyone who listened, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Mouse House Podcast. Thank you for being on, Stephen. Glad we're able to finally get this done. I swear to God, if the audio gets corrupted, I will personally go down to Riverside FM Studios and teach them a lesson they will never forget. And yeah, anyway, thanks again, everyone, for listening. I'm your host, Hunter Begun, and we will catch you guys in the next episode of the Mouse House Podcast.